Jim, thanks for doing this on short
Sure.
notice. First of all, I guess the easiest question I will ask you from where you sit, what's the latest when it comes to the gubernatorial campaign and the two candidates that you have running?
Well, the people are going to decide. I think as much has been said about the recent media reports as needs to be said from the party at this point. Uh, it's a conversation between the candidates and the people, and the party is just going to continue to be a good administrator, a good shepherd. But we are not going to make any candidate's case for him or her. We are going to let the candidates speak for themselves and let the people decide.
I appreciate that because I did talk with Semi Bird earlier this afternoon, and he made a strong claim against you in that he says that you are attempting to, quote, undermine his campaign with these recent allegations. Are you attempting to undermine his campaign?
No,
Unequivocally.
no.
What are the allegations that concern you in your statement? You specifically said certain allegations could not be substantiated, others could, and that you did have concern. In fact, the words "deeply troubled" came up in that statement. What exactly are you deeply troubled by?
Some statements made in the 2009 uh, reprimand memo from the Army, and Mr. Byrd's response to that memo at that time. It's troubling for any reasonable person to see. But it's not the state GOP's job to explain all this. I mean, the only person who can explain what happened, the only person who can make the case is Mr. Byrd.
He said to me, if you get a chance to talk to Jim Walsh, to ask what medals or badges concern you the most in terms of what he may or may not have earned.
I I just refer you to the 2009 reprimand memo.
Do you believe that reprimand was an accurate document?
Yes, by every measure we can reach, the 2009 reprimand memo was a legitimate and real document.
The question I know has come up to you, and you alluded to it in your statement, the idea that as party chair that an endorsement could be pulled. Can you pull an endorsement if it was done at the GOP convention?
No, there's really no clear way to do that. Neither our bylaws nor our caucus and convention rules include any mechanism for rescinding or overturning endorsements. And I'm not even sure it's a good idea. I mean, again, the people will decide how much these matters mean, whether they're endorsements or other questions or issues that come up. And I trust in the judgment of the people of Washington.
Semi in the discussion that we had at 1:30, he made some pretty strong allegations that you were behind this whole thing, obtaining documents, releasing them to Jason Rance, that this is all part of some coordinated effort to, again, in his words, undermine his campaign. I heard what you said earlier. So you're saying that you haven't had anything to do with any of these documents being distributed or being put out there in the public sphere?
Absolutely not. That's a false statement. Talk to Jason Rance, talk to others. That's a false statement.
You know, when Semi says something like that, and he is one of the, I shouldn't say just one of two candidates, there are others who have filed, but in terms of the two candidates on the Republican side that have raised the most money, I asked him the same question. When you have something like this where he is making accusations about you, people that have backed Republicans in the past are making accusations about him, isn't that dysfunctional? Isn't that dysfunctional within your party right now as you try to run state races?
Um, Chris, there have been too many allegations made back and forth. The people of Washington are best served when we focus on good policy, not so much on personalities. I'm not interested in engaging in allegations or counter allegations. Let's leave personalities aside. Let's talk about policy, Chris. At the top of the ticket on the November ballot are going to be 3 and very likely 4 initiatives that the people of the state can vote on that will be good for working families and everyone in the state of Washington. Let's focus on policy. We win, we help people when we focus on policy, not on personalities. And I am very encouraged that the initiative to repeal the disastrous cap and trade tax will be passed by the people of Washington, that the initiative to really reform by allowing people to opt out of the insolvent long-term care benefit scheme will pass with the people. And I'm very encouraged that the newest initiative, Initiative 2066, which is still out gathering signatures right now, will qualify and will be on the ballot. And the people of Washington will be able to protect consumer choice when it comes to natural gas. We talk about policy, Chris, and we do better for people. We get involved and back and forth on personalities, and that's politics at its least attractive element. The Washington State Republican Party has the best ideas for helping people live better lives in this state, whether it's restoring police pursuits and supporting law enforcement so that we fight crime, or reforming taxes in a reasonable way so that the cost of living here gets back into some kind of realistic track and stops increasing so dramatically. The Washington State GOP is interested in making safe neighborhoods and making better schools that give kids better education, and in making Washington State a place where people can live comfortably. This is what we're talking about. Getting involved in the mire of personality politics doesn't help anyone. Let's talk about the best ideas for helping people live better lives here in Washington. That's what the Republican Party is interested in.